Welcome to Loving Out Loud, how to improve communication, sustain sexual passion, and create lasting love relationships. My name is Paula Smith, and I'm your summit host. Loving Out Loud is about loving fiercely and showing up in a different way to create a new reality, one that allows you to access your deepest truths and desires. No matter where you are in the love and life cycle, Loving Out Loud is a prescription for awakening your heart, your mind, and your body to a deeper consciousness and a more authentic and intentional self-expression. Welcome to Loving Out Loud. My guests today on Loving Out Loud are Celeste and Danielle. Dr. Danielle Harrell and Celeste Hirschman are San Francisco-based sex and relationship coaches who help men, women, and couples realize their full erotic potential and deepen their experience of pleasure, intimacy, and connection. Celeste and Danielle are the creators of the Somatica method of sex coaching and relationship therapy and the authors of Cockfidence, the Extraordinary Lover's Guide to Being the Man You Want to Be Behind and Driving Women Wild. This is our recent conversation. I want to welcome Celeste and Danielle to Loving Out Loud. This is so amazing. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, Paula. It's a wonderful opportunity. We're very excited.
Yep. Well, we're very excited. I know that you guys offer something really different for couples and sexuality, right? And I'm so amazed that you guys had the time to be with us today. So can you tell me a little bit about the tools that you're offering for couples around sexuality?
Yeah, well, I think first it's really helpful to say like what couples usually come in to see us for.
Okay.
And the main things that they come to see us for are for sexless marriages, like they've just stopped having sex or they have very little sex once or twice a year. Or they might have like differing desires, like one of them wants one kind of sex and the other one wants a different kind of sex or different length, or there can be all different kinds of differences. And the last one is just to like spice up the sex life. Some people are just like, okay, so we've been together for a while, must be some other things out there that we can try. So those are the main three things that we help people with.
So we created a method. It's called the Somatica method. We've been working in this field for about 10 years already, and as we're coming from an experiential, hands-on trainings that we took, and is through our studies, and we came up with our own method. And as we're refining the method all the time, we are seeing that people need really hands-on approach to sexuality. They need some opportunities to experiment with different kinds of tools. You can read lots of books and you can read lots of articles today. Everything is online. Everything is everywhere about how to do sex great, the technicality of it.
Right.
But people don't talk much about the energy of sex and how to kind of create good seductive initiation. And so we help people we help break it down. We have all the tools to break it down and help people understand how to keep stuff spiced up, how to keep the seduction going every day. Because sex dies if you don't keep thinking about it every day.
And I think one of the things that the Somatica method really offers, and what Danielle is referring to, is sort of like, learnable pieces, right? So we need to learn how to ask for what we want in a effective way. And we need to learn how to say, oh, no, thank you, I don't want that, but I would really love this instead, so that we can actually have boundaries and share our desires. And if we don't practice those things in the moment, then we won't take them home and do them. We can't give those things as homework. So we really have people practice in our office.
I love it.
I
love it.
Yeah. Also, when we see people in our office, we can actually catch those moments. They can tell us, we are doing everything you told us, if we just give homework. We're doing exactly whatever you told us. But, when we see them, okay, let's try it out here. Show me this look, and that it totally doesn't work the way they think it works, you know?
Right.
And we can
Right.
catch it because we're with them in the room. And, you
Right.
know, if you send them to do homework, you never know what's really happening there.
Right. Exactly. So, what do sexless couples, or couples in a sexless marriage, need to know?
Well, I think one of the first things that couples in a sexless marriage need to know is that it's actually normal that a lot of the sexiness goes out of relationships after the honeymoon period when you're like, oh my God, I just met this person and I'm so excited and do they want me? And you just keep sort of going for sex over and over again. And then after the hormones have died down and you're like living next to the person and you know them really well, it's like, okay, so, you know, it gets a little bit less interesting or exciting. Sometimes also people just have emotional stuff that's blocking their sexual connection. So we just normalize it and say, okay, this happens to a lot of couples. Let's help you get out of the cycle.
Great.
Yeah, and many times couples need to understand how, you know, if it's heterosexual couple, they need to understand like how women's brains work and how males' brains work. And it's not so much about the brain; it's a lot of it is about like the way we're socialized in our culture and the roles that we take as men and women. And we see it also many times in same-sex couple, the same kind of role taking of one person kind of takes the role of I'm not thinking about sex. It's your job to bring it to the table.
So what you're saying is that it's pretty normal for the sexual energy to die down after the honeymoon period, right? So couples come into a relationship sometimes with different desires, right? And they don't even know, they don't even realize it until after they've made a commitment with each other. What can they do?
So a lot of what we do with them is actually start the conversation and help them see that they have different desires. You know, in the honeymoon phase, when people kind of just start the relationship, they think they're one person. They have one brain and they want the same things. And as they kind of start to mature in the relationship, they start to notice that, oh, that doesn't really work. So we really help them sort out their hottest sexual movie and what really turns them on.
And then once we have a better idea of what it is that, you know, what their movies are, like, you know, I know her movie, she knows my movie, or he knows her movie, and the other one knows their movie, then we can see, like, do you want to guest star in my movie? You know, what are your boundaries? What's your comfort level of doing that? Are we going to turn take? You know, is it my night to have my sexy movie, or, you know, my hour and then your hour? And we try to help people get to a place of generosity and acceptance so that they can get, you know, reconnected even across these differing desires.
Great.
Many times just realizing that for people that the other person have different desires, they can stop fighting over, you know, like we just have to do it my way or the right way is my way, you know, and then they start thinking, oh, we can just play. One time we can do your way, another time we can do my way, and then it becomes helping them be more on the same team around sex and excited.
There's definitely a lot of images there about the right way to have sex out in the world. So we really demystify that and say there's so many different ways and different people have different needs around it. And we help them have acceptance and support for each other's needs and desires.
Great. So how do you work with couples to get heated up? How do you help them to do that?
Well, I think I think there's a lot of ways. I mean, the first piece is just to see like how are they having sex now, you know, and where are the places where they haven't yet expanded. Like some people are really, you know, focused on romantic sex, but they haven't brought a lot of passion or dominance into an experience. Or some people are really focused on just like closing their eyes and going inside, but they haven't learned how to play with some role play or fantasy or telling each other sexy stories. So I think there's a whole realm of like what's on the menu out there around sex, and we're really minimized in terms of what part, you know, what we're ordering off that menu. So we really want to help people get more choices, try new things, just get out of their old habits.
Yeah, maybe I want to add to this that sex is more than the act of sex and orgasms. You know, it's more than achieving orgasm, and I think people don't know that, and they go to sex to get something out of it that's bigger than orgasms, but they don't know how to say it. They don't know how to ask for what they want. So we help them really locate and identify what's the feeling that they want to get through sex. Do I want to just be this, centerpiece during sex, being looked at and being totally desired? Do I want to be the, like the someone who can really take charge and, for you to receive me fully? So there's so many emotional things that people go to, and we help them identify and then play it out. So sex is going to be fulfilling for them.
Right. And there's no wrong thing to feel in that realm, right? That you want to feel. It's just, I think a lot of people will have shame about some of the things that they want to feel. So we really take that out of the picture. Like maybe you want to feel degraded, or like you have to work really hard to get your partner's attention. Great. Let's figure out a way to make that a part of a sexy, evening, right? So it's like there's so many different ways that we can play, and it's just our playground, the way we work through a lot of our emotional stuff, and the way we get empowered over stuff that maybe wasn't forced upon us earlier on. So, there's a lot of excitement that can happen when we really get honest about what we want to get out of that experience beyond orgasm.
Yeah.
Right. So can you say more about, because I know that there's a lot of people in our watching audience who have, a sexless marriage, and, you said that it's normal. What else could you say to them about sex, and in terms of your method?
I think a lot of resentment builds up when there's a sexless marriage on both sides. One person feels pressured, the other person feels deprived. And to begin to have some empathy about the other person's experience, like it's hard when you don't want to do something and another person wants you to do it. And it's hard when you really, really want something badly and the only person who's supposed to be able to give it to you isn't giving it to you, right? Those are both difficult positions to be in. So to just understand and empathize across those positions, and then to start to find, like, where is the empathy? Where is the generosity? What is possible here? Where do we need to feel our disappointment? Where do we need to even consider, do we need to get those needs met somewhere else? We're a very monogamously oriented culture. We think that's the only way to be. And some couples actually have a much better relationship and sex life when they choose to be non-monogamous. So we don't take any judgment about what the right answer is about all of this. Right. We help people find what's right for them, and honestly, and in a way that preserves their connection, their intimacy, their love, their commitment to one another. But we can help them be very creative about how they structure their relationship.
Great. So really, I mean, this is why I wanted you guys on the summit, because it's really loving out loud. So they're sexing out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
very much out loud.
The whole idea of permission and non-judgmental and no shame, and they get to have you right there with them in the moment to help move them into a place that they can feel safe and creative and affect each other in the way that they've probably always dreamed of, or always wanted. So I think it's really, really beautiful. Yeah. So, you guys have any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
I love helping people get excited about each other again. That's like a big thing for me with couples. Just like seeing them go, oh yeah, I remember who you are. I remember why I fell in love with you. I remember why I want to have sex with you.
Right.
And for me, I really love to, make the puzzle much more easy, and it's going to feel like more optimistic and positive, and for people to really, be able to be honest and truthful and almost like naked in front of each other, but not, fully emotionally and physically, and kind of join those two, all the levels of our beings in one experience. That's why I love sex coaching. That's the place to do it.
Yeah. Can you tell us about I know you, for all Loving Out Loud watchers and listeners, I know you're offering a free gift. Can you tell us about that? And there's a link too that they can access it right away.
Yeah, so we have free breathwork sessions for men and women. I think the first thing that you want to do before you get in touch with each other is really get in touch with yourself. So we have a free audio download. You listen to that. You do some breathwork by yourself, and then you might bring in and do some breathwork with your partner once you've kind of learned those techniques and tools. And it's one way to start a fantastic afternoon or evening or morning of sex.
Great. Celeste and Danielle, thank you so much for Loving Out Loud with us today. Your work is amazing. And I'm so glad you had the chance to be able to speak with us today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure, and we are very excited.
Thank you, Paula. I love your energy.
Yeah,
You're so beautiful.
totally.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.